1 minute and 11 seconds of logos, including Hasbro thinking they have enough juice for a film vanity logo. Sorry bro, Mr. Potato Head is only in Disney flicks. You were barely involved in the D&D movie, you had nothing to do with the 85 Clue movie, and your monopoly over Monopoly films has resulted in exactly $0 so far. You may have plans, but how about we take a breather on the logo bravura until you've actually done something. Also Peppa Pig. So this upside down part of the city seems pretty interesting. Obviously some robots hang around in the upper part, but either gravity doesn't bother them or the basement floor is more like the top floor. It's an important detail that is never explained, and clearly the movie makers aren't considering the curiosity of the architects among us.
Here we go.
Having advanced holographic display technology but needed to pull the old NES blow-me trick to get it to work properly. The short of this presentation is that a super robot god becomes a planet that withholds life-giving energy to everyone until a leader that it likes is in charge. What a dick.
The Matrix, there it is. Okay, good. Come on, keep going.
Thing heard in theaters after the first Matrix movie, but not after any of the sequels somehow makes it into the script.
Attention, unauthorized movement detected in archival vault.
Movie insinuates that in this advanced technological society, security is handled by hovering guard bots instead of surveillance cameras or motion detectors. Not only that, but the only reason this guard bot even woke up was because it heard the playback malfunction when OP put the card in a few seconds ago. It's like Cybertron security watched too many Earth movies with inept napping human guards and thought that was the optimal situation.
We told you to never come back here.
He's done this before and he still got in? Was the security of the building farmed out to a company called Plot Guards? Also, why wouldn't he just grab as many backstory discs as he can and then take them home? You're telling me he couldn't find a way to play them outside of the Forbidden Zone?
He doesn't have a cog. Let's give him a head start.
Why not? It's not like he can transform.
This conversation that serves no purpose to anyone in the room but gives the audience that sweet, sweet cog exposition they've been craving.
So long, sucker.
The overhead shot established there was no hole in the ground, but suddenly there is one. I wouldn't be as angry about it if there wasn't another sudden fall through the floor joke later in the movie.
Ryan.
In this huge city, Orion just happens to jump onto a moving train that has two people who not only know who he is, but indicate they've experienced this before. Either Orion is somehow a household name, or this movie has transformed into a convenience bot.
Let me guess. Checked out of the archives?
Since you're guessing about this, I'll also guess that this means you just happen to be in the exact right place at the exact right time to ex machina your best friend, and this movie is guessing that no one will notice. Well, you guessed wrong, movie.
Hey, if we did have cogs, I'd transform into a shovel and beat you.
In a world where machines with cogs have the ability to transform into anything they like, the fact that most of them walk around looking humanoid is probably the biggest sin of the movie.
It's nothing. It's just the mint condition, Megatronus Prime decal, first edition.
Declaring something mint condition without getting it graded. Come on, Orion, you know that thing isn't worth anything unless it's slabbed in hard plastic with a number stamped on it. Also, movie will never show us the magical pocket from which this pristine sticker has emerged. Spending time taking us through the entire Energon mining process like I give a shit about the entire Energon mining process.
Feeling like I have enough power in me to drill down and touch Primus myself.
Saying this in a PG-13 movie.
You with me, D? On your six!
But isn't the 6 a reference to the 6 on a clock? So wouldn't that be directly behind PAX?
Next time, why don't you stop and think before you ruin someone's life?
Forgetting that Orion stopped and thought about Jazz's life being ruined before he disobeyed orders and saved him yesterday, which just means the real issue is probably Orion's sexism.
I may not have a cog, but my finger can transform. Guess which one? I'll give you a limited option.
How did the Transformers develop the same you finger we did? On Earth, it came about because it was a way to simulate a human sexual appendage as a taunt. And I don't think Hasbro was ready to wrestle with the fact that they just confirmed Transformers have dicks. Metal mouth areas that react like human lips when punched in slow motion.
Is it on? Okay, thank you.
Not trusting that your producer has that sorted and just starting your speech, as if we needed more obvious tells that Sentinel Prime is the bad guy.
Let's all see which competitor can prove they are truly more than meets the eye.
Reference!
What if?
Doing 3 full runs of What If when the first one would have been enough.
Look, there's Thunderglide and Behemoth.
My college girlfriend's exclamations while checking her bedside table drawer have entered the chat.
It has been precisely 50 cycles since the Quintessons attacked our home.
Not giving us the context we need to know how long 50 cycles is. I'd assume similar to our years, but in the comics, a cycle was often a day, so now I don't know if these Quintessons attacked 50 days ago, 50 years ago, or maybe it was 50 centuries ago. I guess I can no longer care about these characters without this important chronological exposition. Sorry, Hasbro.
Why'd you bring jetpacks?
More important question, how did you get them? Are they able to be snuck out of the mines? Because surely if that were true, Orion would have brought one went along for the archive escapade earlier instead of climbing up the outside.
It's time to show them we are more than meets the eye.
Same reference! Why does this particular hatch open just over the starting line? For the green means go light? You could achieve that effect without building a f***ing hatch? Instead of kicking out unqualified entrants to the race, the graphics team immediately inserts them as a participant, as a single entity called minors. Yep, it's a movie.
If we survive this, I'm gonna kill you!
Or you could just, stop racing with him. Also, spoiling the end of your own movie. This robot untransforms an entire leg from his jet to kick Orion off of him, and it barely impacts his flight path. The movie doesn't know how to aeronautic correctly. Also, none of the other racers in this scene are arrested for endangering a minor.
One minor is now carrying the other, mere steps from the finish line.
It wouldn't be a race between friends if we didn't have the classic go on without me part. But also, the chivalry is a bit undercut by the fact that they're listed together on the official race graphics. So he may only be doing this because he isn't sure if he'd lose on a technicality.
The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish.
The Source announcers.
Orion Pax, D16.
I'm gonna say your names ominously and convey an energy of intimidation at first, even though I'm actually here to praise you because audiences eat this weak-ass fake-out up.
Arachnid, have someone escort these heroes to my personal service facilities.
This bot is named Arachnid, a play on the Earth word for spider, because she walks like a spider and has eyes like a spider. Do they even have f***ing spiders here?
Hate that guy.
You mean Darkwing? The guard you flipped off for just doing his job? The guy you interfered with as an unregistered racer in a race he was probably about to win? Yeah, he's the asshole here.
Oh! I'm B127, by the way. But you can call me B.
Movie continues to accidentally its leads into meet cutes with other important characters like this bumbling bee.
Our job is to look for anything that might be worth salvaging before it hits the furnace and gets smelted.
So you watch garbage burn.
D16 would be bingo at Vocation Sins.
This is Aatron?
Mispronouncing Airtron in a way that ruins the lives of all Airtrons anytime they have to meet someone new who thinks it's hilarious to call them Aatron.
Those are coordinates to a location on the surface.
The way these bozos convenient themselves into this holographic map of planetoid plot relevance is so ridiculous it just made A New Hope 78% better just by existing. Touchable, movable, holographic projections.
What do you think Sentinel's reaction would be if you personally handed him the matrix of leadership that you found?
Orion continues to be that asshole who constantly goads his friend into doing horribly dangerous things, and the movie will continue to treat him like some kind of hero.
They don't allow passengers. Their trains are autonomous.
Yeah, that's the won't be easy part.
Thinking boarding an unmanned and unguarded train that just happens to be going exactly where you want to go is the won't be easy part.
Thanks for being an idiot, whoever you are.
And of course, their former boss they got fired is the one that finds them because of course she is.
Why? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I?
The movie allows its character to ask a logical question several times that it has no intention of answering.
Climb faster!
Says the robot that just got out of the hatch and hasn't even started climbing yet.
I am speechless.
Get it? He will become Bumblebee and Bumblebee can't talk. Do you get it?
Is it getting bigger?
Speaking of getting bigger, that f***ing sun should be baking their bot biscuits so bad right now. It's cute how Hasbro thinks they will have an amusement park someday where they can make this a ride. Also, watching this highly important vehicle get smashed around by the shifting surface makes me wonder if there has to be a better way to deliver its valuable contents via, I don't know, planes or other mechanical creations that seem to be an option in this world. Why the f*** are there transforming deer and why are they grazing? So now that they are walking, is the terraforming rock threat just not a thing anymore? Are its geological properties plot dependent? Hiding below this stone bridge will work, even though just seconds ago the scans were shown to be more diagonal, not straight vertical. The quintessence ship leaves after the bridge save because its tension release sensors detected it was time.
Why shouldn't we? Just walking into the scariest place I've ever seen in my entire life. This is ridiculous.
Nice of B to hang a lantern on the recklessness here, but seriously, shouldn't at least one of you stay back at the entrance to spot any possible trouble?
I don't believe it.
That the deceased primes are placed perfectly beneath shafts of light in the cave ceiling? I don't either. If one tiny energon cube can completely power up this Amazonian prime this quickly, I'm gonna need a lesson in robot digestion immediately.
Come. I will show you.
I guess even primes haven't been programmed to avoid. You better come take a look at this cliches. The primes prove their strength and defeat a horde of green monsters, but a weaker sentinel shows up with a sword and a blaster taking out the primes? How did he become so powerful? Are we skipping that part?
The matrix of leadership can only be wielded by one
that Primus himself deems worthy.
Chris Hemsworth plays a character hoping to wield a weapon that is picky about who can wield it cliché.
He's here. Sentinel Prime is here.
Well, that's convenient. It's almost like every character is a wizard and arrives precisely when the script means them to. What in the dark crystal Gartham is going on here? Also, do they have this big pomp and circumstance on every delivery, or just the ones they know we, the audience, are watching?
What do the Quintessons want with toxic waste?
These crates with built-in mid-hover dialogue triggered plot reveal lids.
Sentinel lied to my face.
No, he lied to you through speeches and broadcasts. The only time he was ever in your face, he just talked about wanting you guys to inspire the miners to work more, which was surprisingly the truth. D16 seems to be destroying something very important and symbolic, and the movie did a terrible job of explaining anything about it. I am unmoved.
Don't you want to stop him?
No, I want to kill him!
So, stopping him then?
He removed your cogs before you came online.
Movie opted to spend 20 seconds showing us the mining of Energon and 30 seconds showing us how Energon is lifted out of a train and sucked into a ship, but 0 seconds showing us the magical robot birthing chamber where Sentinel goes to rip out magical transformation cogs from innocent miners before they come online, and I want to see that shit.
Take their cogs and access your full potential.
Grave robbing. Also, slamming someone else's ball into your core without explicit consent. Okay, fine. This transformation scene is better and more meaningful than any single transforming scene in the history of any of the movies. I'm not an unfeeling robot. Take your sin back.
I got it.
D16 transforms from jovial best friend to sociopathic revenge bot faster than you could angrily type, "How did you not sin Chris Hemsworth for not being worthy of licking the vocal boots of Peter Cullen?" in the comments. Not trusting us to know it's an alien planet without showing us that it has more moons than we do.
Are you spies? Or just incompetent lackeys?
Thinking these are the only two options.
Who exactly are you guys?
I think there are a group of rebels added into the movie about 2/3 of the way in to make sure the film gets to a feature-length runtime, and also to give us a much-needed hit of nostalgia for some of the bots we remember from our childhood. Am I close?
Well, how can you say so? With my head in your teeth.
Using teeth in the same sentence as head. D16 transforms from sociopathic revenge bot to autocratic war-hungry cult leader faster than you could angrily type, "How did you not remove a sin for my specific favorite part of the movie?" in the comments.
Our proof. It's gone.
Then maybe you should have stored it in that internal compartment you had the sticker in earlier instead of externally on the part of your body you punch with. Just thinking out loud.
Those Energon trains will be heading back to Iacon. If we intercepted one.
Hell yes, I can reroute it.
The trains that have been hard to track? The trains that were present outside of the Prime's death cave sometime yesterday? The death cave that they no longer are near because they were captured and moved to Starscream's hideout? But somehow they'll know the way to get wherever the magic trains are to complete this mission.
Why should we follow you? We will follow you!
Using violence as a threat to increase loyalty is so hilarious.
What is our first move?
We roll out.
Another reference!
The High Guard. You know, you guys have been tough to find.
Really? Because this base seems pretty well established. There's a throne with tiki torches and everything. I'm confused as to why it would have been hard at all.
Megatronus was the coolest Prime.
False. Despite Sheldon's full-throated defense of 73, 41 is the coolest Prime. It's just sexier. Dare you to find a sexier Prime than 41. You can't!
Here. Let's make sure it doesn't come off.
Whatever bullshit reason Arachnid had a branding weapon at the ready for Sentinel.
But as you can see, everything is different now.
Flashing your cogs in a public setting without explicit consent, or the opportunity to receive beads in return.
Stand up for this injustice.
Standing up for injustice.
Alita, it's time.
They can talk to each other over long distances? Well, f***ing call B and D16 and check in on their captured asses. Okay, maybe just call D16 because B would talk your ear off.
You really were a great miner.
We've got a breach!
So don't you dare pull that trigger yet, even though it would just take a second. Now that there's a breach, please don't finish that quick and easy thing you were just on the verge of doing. Check out this amazing shot of the two forces. Oh, we're done with that angle already? Can this movie please just sit still for 1 second during the action scenes?
Oh, that's intense.
It also makes no sense. Why would all these eyes be closed for the majority of time and only open now for this big reveal? Does she only open them up when it's time to freak out the audience?
Battle mask! It appeared when this guy tried to... Knife hands? I have knife hands!
I said don't break her!
Orion appears to be watching Alita battle angeling from the tower, and I'm certain he has better things to do than micromanage.
You can jab them later. Gotta go.
B can jab them later? Like after they win, Orion will allow B to kill prisoners? Or does Orion anticipate a long battle, so more stabbing is probable? How can he be so confident that B can murder with his knife hands? B needs to kill more things with knife hands. This is important. Also, I guess Orion has suddenly decided that telling his best friend D16 that he's abandoning the Sentinel fight for another plan isn't that important. Orion is a D to D. I guess since Orion pressed some buttons in the archives that one time, I'm supposed to believe he also happens to know the right buttons to press and the right way to press a face to the broadcasting thingy. Also, despite the destruction by B's knife hand rampage, this communication room still works.
Attention, Icon City.
Look at all these war-capable bots just milling around while their leader is under attack in the tower. They can transform into planes and no one thought to zip up and check in on Sentinel's well-being?
That's why after I killed him, I took his cog for myself.
No, really, how the f*** did they get Air Acted to broadcast the perfect messages in the perfectly edited order? Who would have thought that Sentinel Prime, a bot capable of defeating all the primes of the past, has taken a tumble to the top of a building and is suddenly weak enough to be destroyed? Optimus Pax Machina.
I'm done saving you.
Nice to see that even on other planets, robots are programmed to have their eyes turn red when they have completed the transformation to evil. It's a neat interplanetary feature. Also, can we pause for a moment of silence for all the other robots that have fallen into this massive pit to nowhere? Stupid planet with its ridiculous shaft to nowhere.
Your noble sacrifice for the greater good has proven you worthy in the eyes of Primus.
He's fucking unconscious. Maybe wait until he's online to tell him he's Robot Jesus. Also, I guess it's a good thing that Orion got dropped into the death chasm that had a clear path to the middle of the planet so he could have this anointing by the planetary core Prime Lords. How would they have gotten him the matrix of leadership if he had just fallen on top of the platform? Also, Lawrence Fishburne plays a character that leads someone to the Matrix cliche. Optimus rips off Megatron's appendage and smacks him with it. Megatron rolls over the top of it and absorbs it back onto his body, and now I'm even more confused about how they repair. Waiting until a few minutes into the fight to manifest the glowy hand axe thingy. I honestly don't know why it's a more awesome weapon than the flamethrowers, but if the Matrix of Leadership was going to make such a big deal about it, it could have done so much sooner. Well, that's going to kill some innocent bot in the distance who was just walking home after grabbing an afternoon boba energon drink.
I'm D16. Orion Pax.
Cutting to a flashback to end your movie isn't quite as bad as starting in medias res, but it still feels manipulative. So I'm sending this ab initio climax anyway, mostly because I wanted to show off my dope Latin skills. Okay, Optimus, you have a cool axe. No need to misuse it and bash the ground like that. Who is that helping?
I am Optimus Prime.
Chris Hemsworth is not worthy of licking the vocal boots of Peter Cullen.
Tenders in this ring. Icon 5000 for the ages.
I don't want to watch you turn into a cog in their machine.
And to crawl to freedom through 500 yards of smelling foulness I can't even imagine.
Hello, Icon City.
You're on top and you don't have enough. You're happy because you're successful, for now. But what is happiness? It's a moment before you need more happiness. I won't settle for 50% of anything. I want 100%. You're happy with your agency? You're not happy with anything. You don't want most of it. You want all of it. And I won't stop until you get all of it.
Tomorrow there will be no work, all shifts off, because tomorrow is the
74th Annual Hunger Games!
We can't fly, we can't roll.
You think you can do these things, but you just can't!
Demoted.
Maniacal laugh.
This is
Ron.
I was talking to Steve.
Classic Steve.
Steve!
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
You precious little life form.
just had to break protocol.
Who cares about protocol?
I do!
Protocol? Why, it's my primary function set.
I'm a leaf on the wind.
Look! I have knife hands!
Once I went to a cutlery store and said, here's $100,000. Can I buy a knife? They said, no. Money can't buy knives.
Your noble sacrifice for the greater good.
The greater good.